Hey guys, Zix here. Time for the next Sevtech Ages 3.12 tutorial. As you can see, I moved because I found this spot and I thought it looked really cool. Let me give you an overhead. Ah, it's so cool. Love it. There is a Shogoff layer nearby, which is going to be helpful later on, but not now. Either way, today I'm going to tell you guys how to find a specific biome. But first, before you can do that, you have to kind of understand how the Sevtech Ages map is drawn. There's a temperature axis, and then there is a humidity axis. And basically, east and west, if you need to know what west, the clouds always move in west, or you can just look for the sun. The sun always sets in the west. And then north and south is going to be your temperature. So if I'm going to head north and south, I'm going to eventually hit a icy biome. I'm going to eventually hit a desert. I'm going to eventually hit a plains, stuff like that. If you head, or those types of temperatures, you know what I mean? If I head east and west, I'm going to eventually hit a wet biome, which is a jungle or there's different wet biomes. All of the wet biomes, I mean jungle, swamps, mini jungle, forest, roof forest, temperate forest, lush hills, green swamp. Let's see, Corellium infested swamp, which is an abyssal craft thing. Those are kind of rare. Mutated redwood taigas, glacier spikes. And all of those that I just said are the wet biomes that we are on the lookout for, because that's going to help us narrow down what we're looking for, which is going to be the swamp biome. Now, I set my spawn here. Make sure your spawn is set before you start venturing off. Basically, what we need to do is we need to find a wet biome. When we find a wet biome, we're going to change to north and south. Specifically, it would be helpful if we had a jungle, if we find a jungle. Because if we find a jungle, then we're going to be more on track to what we're looking for. So I'm going to do this in creative for obvious reasons. Okay, so already we're getting a biome change. This biome, this is going to be the autumn, right? Yeah, the autumnal woods. So this is a warm average. By the way, I'm putting a link in the description below of what that is. So if you look at the chart, warm average is either going to be next to warm dry or warm wet. So we should actually be fairly close to the biome description that we're looking for. So we're going to keep going because, like I said, we want to find a wet biome. Already we're changing again, changing a little faster than I anticipated. But now, and of course, ocean biomes can screw it all up because you can get a warm wet because you can get a warm wet in an ocean biome. Well, that's kind of cool looking. It's almost like a river in this water. And now we're coming up on what looks like just a regular old forest. So we're gonna keep heading east. You don't want to stray diagonally too much because you're gonna end up, one, getting lost. Two, you're probably not gonna find the biome that you're looking for. So that looks like a biome change, but it really isn't much of one. At least not a humidity change, and we're looking for more along the lines of humidity changes. Wow, the world looks so peaceful from here, doesn't it? You're running. We're gonna keep heading east. So the ocean is going to throw us off a little bit, and that is one thing that you'll have to keep in mind. The temperature, temperate, and humidity. Oh, lost my direction. I'll go this way. The ocean, the biome changes are still occurring, even though we're flying above the ocean. But that's okay. We'll pick it back up once we hit land, which is right here. It looks like we're at another warm average. Oh no, this is going to be a No, this is a warm average. Yeah, we still could be very close. We may have just passed over a wet biome, but we're gonna keep looking anyway. Swamps are somewhat rare, probably by design. They're not the most common biome you're going to find. I'd say they're about as common as darklands. And as you can see from the previous, a couple episodes ago, Darklands wasn't necessarily too close by. And that was the closest one to me. You know, you might have to search for a little bit. But this is the best way to do it. A systematic approach. All this ocean is very unfortunate, though. All right, I'm gonna pause and come back once I'm through all this stinking ocean. Right back. All right, found a wet. Okay, so now we found a wet. Now what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna head north and south, and then we should north or south, and we should find ourselves a swamp biome. But we're gonna try to go into the heart of this. This is a redwood. Redwood is considered wet. Let's go a little bit farther. Lag. Okay, so now we're going to change direction. We're going to head north. We are going to end up hitting different biomes that may not necessarily be swamps, but this is the best way to do it. Shogoth down. Oh, don't tell me it's another big ocean. Don't you tell me it's another big ocean. I want to hear it. I want to hear it. It's another big ocean. Be right back. Alright. Found land again. It's more wet. This is all wet stuff. Redwood again. It's a different kind of redwood, but that's okay. And there's more. We're on the right track. Check it out. A little village made out of snow. Actually pretty cool. I've never seen that before. It's in it's in here. It's completely unrelated. Get out of here. This isn't what we're doing. Sidetracked. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to make this. I don't know how much more I really need to explain it. You're going to This is what you need to do. You need to go head east or west. Really, it doesn't matter which direction you go. Maybe if you start to see an ocean, change your mind and go in a different direction. Once you find a wet biome, use the list that you see on the webpage I sent you for that. Bam. This, my friends, is a swamp. You head north or south, and you will run into a swamp. There is not ruins for Between Lands is not going to spawn in here yet, because I'm not at the appropriate age. But Shogoth will apparently. But it will come back later, even if you explore it. So mark it on your atlas. Go back home, and when you're ready, I'm assuming you're not looking for the swamp until you're ready to do the Between Lands stuff. But either way. This will get you, this is how you get to a swamp, east or west, until you find a wet biome like these redwoods, and then you're going to head north or south, and you will eventually run into a swamp. So that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so very much for watching. As always,